So, guys, I don't know if you know about this Foodshops person. They're like a file. They're like a file online. Have you heard of this Foodshops individual? They're like a file online. We don't have a short Foodshops video to watch. So let me try and summarize Foodshops, guys. For those who don't know, Foodshops is a long-time Destiny fan turned Orbiter who first showed up around Twitch poll, copying a lot of Mr. Girl talking points that she'd seen through Destiny's stream. Because she's a file. Because she's attracted to children. A transgender, she, who's attracted to children. Who has admitted as much many times. I used to be far more gracious with Foodshops being a file. I would have simply said that they are certainly a lolicon, but not necessarily a file. However, they have repeatedly lied about a POCD diagnosis. They have called themselves a file. Not as a joke, not just as a joke. I understand people post the joke clip and are like, everyone's like, oh my god, that's obviously a joke. They don't just say it as a joke. They said that I'm a small p file. That's what they said to Lonerbox on a stream. They self-described as a file. That's what they said. Meaning that they have some sort of attraction to children that is subclinical. That's what they were describing. They have, in repeated situations, described a desire for underage people. And now, guys, if you can believe it, they've apparently been caught having a lengthy sexual relationship with someone who's underage. If you can believe that, guys. If you can believe that. So that's a brief summary of Foodshops. Now, like I say, we are covering Foodshops again today for a very special reason, which is that Foodshops may have gone from being a non-offending pedophile to, I won't say an offending pedophile because that implies criminal misconduct. I don't know where this would rank, but it's not looking good, guys, to say the least. It's not like it's not a good outlook, really. Let's have a look at some of this. So this is an allegation that's kicked around for a while, has been going over a little bit, but it seems like the user in question has made a tweet longer.
DGGers out there that are making content is incredibly low. It feels like, right? There are not, DGG streamers. There are not, DGG video essayists. What does DGG have?
It's Willie Mac.
They have Twitter clippers that are, not really doing the best, basically. So, they really need to hang on to whoever they can, whether that's people like Darius, whether that's people like Foodshops, right? They really need to hang on to whoever they can. So again, just to reiterate my disappointment, not that, the stakes were really high or, whatever. But again, the fact that someone saw what was in this document, had a moral issue with it, thought that Foodshops was like a weird pedophile, if not adjacent freak. And then the only thing it took to get them to like back off was, oh, it's anti-fan shit. Like, oh, so you literally have no spine. You have no spine. You are willing to disregard potential predatory action that Foodshops has partook in because anti-fans are the one bringing light to it.
Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind, guys, is I believe Foodshops is not like 18. Foodshops is not even like, so like Aiden, like 20, 21. Foodshops isn't even like Dickers or Mrow, like around 23. Foodshops is Unk, like me. Foodshops is like 27. Foodshops is like 27. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at some of these interactions, guys.
This is like an extremely early stream, so I'm not sure how many people are gonna actually see this, which is why, again, I'm gonna either edit this down, or I'm gonna make a prepared video, or I'm gonna make a document, or I'm gonna just put all the screenshots on Twitter. I'm gonna do something because it is really fucking infuriating. Okay, it is really fucking infuriating. That people are like either disregarding this or just like surrounding this. It's fucking annoying. It is fucking annoying.
I remember, guys, Foodshops is not just a pedophile, guys. Foodshops is not just a pedophile. This is important to remember. Foodshops is a doxer and supports Dan getting swatted. Said that Dan and his kids deserve to get doxed and swatted. Dan, his kids, and his wife deserve to get doxed and swatted. That's what Foodshops is. Foodshops supports doxing. Foodshops doxes. Foodshops supports swatting. Foodshops is a pedophile. And Foodshops has now been caught, seemingly, talking to someone underage.
Hi. The following is a loose thread by me accounting for a long period of time. This person types in like broken English, by the way. I don't know if they're like retarded. But it kind of helps me, all right? If this is a retarded minor, raping a retarded kid is, just by merit of them being retarded, has to be worse than, raping a normal kid. So.
Foodshops blatantly plays up how impressive whatever dogshit tech job they had was. And they were They started like not that long before me, right? What were some of those VODs from? 2023? 3 years ago. They started when they were like 24, 23, 24.
This has been weighing on my mind for a long period of time, but Foodshops is a pedophile that knowingly led a prolonged relationship, romantic, sexual, and non-sexual, while I was 17. It started off as me chatting on her stream. This took place from the late period of time of me being 16 and me turning 17. Around this time, our exchanges progressively became more flirtatious. Jesus Christ. Around this time, our exchanges became more flirtatious in chat. We had moments where I would say I loved her, and she would say she loved me too. So this is a claim that could be provable, okay? And I might have some old Foodshops VODs that I might be able to scrub and see if this actually existed or if this was a real thing that happened in her chat. However, this is one of many claims that can be proven potentially, but they do not provide the evidence for. So while this could be true, obviously they do not provide.
Okay, wait. So let's slow this down. Now we're going through the evidence, okay?
And see if this actually existed or if this was a real time of me being 16 and me turning 17. Around this time, our exchanges progressively became more flirtatious. Jesus Christ. Around this time, our exchanges became more flirtatious in chat.
So like, this is immediately like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, you can't control if there's some 16 or 17-year-old in your chat. You know, we're not checking IDs in chat. So you can't control that. So like, you know, that's whatever. But why are you having like flirty, like, oh, I love you too. I love you too. With random fucking chatters.
We had moments where I would say I loved her and she would say...
Not even implying any pedophile shit with that. I'm just saying that is like unwell. That is like very unwell.
She loved me too. So this is a claim that could be provable, okay? And I might have some old Foodshops VODs that I might be able to scrub and see if this actually existed or if this was a real thing that happened in her chat. However, this is one of many claims that can be proven potentially, but they do not provide the evidence for. So while this could be true, obviously they do not provide anything to back it up. She would get flustered and blush a lot during our parasocial exchanges. Irresponsible, but I mostly kept away from this engagement. Following this, we began messaging on Twitter. It was at this point that Foodshops began to cover her tracks. Much of this is memory. She, knowing that I was 17, solicited images from me, and we would chat there for more days, before deciding that we would formally date. She had asked about my age, and I told her transparently that I was 17. She said that I should not share that, and we should hold off. We would chat on and off, and she unblocked me on Discord and added me. It should be known that she would joke about my connections, as on my Discord account, I had spoken and added numerous content creators in her online space, like Kuihman, Zonia, Destiny, Pirate Software, Keffels, as well as her peers, moderation of hundreds of other servers, several Roblox groups and who had active files on me, Harley TBS, Hopeless Peaches, Lio Convoy, other transgender figures, famous predators such as Hypnotist Sappho, Moist Critical, and Kaya Orsen. Kaya Orsen, I believe, is Moist Critical's friend, who is like a host of, or was, I guess, a host of his podcast. I'm omitting more names, including the names of multiple members of Foodshops Discord server that I considered somewhat private individuals. Some of these names fixated on me, some knew me in passing, all universally knew one thing. I was 16 to 17 years old, openly public. I held a minor role in blue politics. I regularly talked about school and played a kids game called Rabbit and Steel, intended to be an easy gateway into harder bullet hell games like Touhou. So, this is true. This is true. They had the minor role in blue politics. This is true. This is massively true. And they were in contact with creators. Okay, so let me find this specific message. This is a DM exchange between Aiko in the house and Hippity Hop, who is a moderator of the politics server, or was at the time a moderator of the politics server. Okay? And they also had the minor role in the politics server. Okay? And then not just this, they have DM exchanges with Destiny. Okay? Awesome. Awesome stuff. Here is another tidbit of their DMs with Destiny, where Destiny seemingly asks their age. They respond with 17, 18 and 4 months. Just in case you're asking because of this, I'm not interested in anything sexual. Just a heads up. Yeah. Foods and I both had multiple spats where we would delete our messages en masse or only talk in chat, while one would call or stream, leading to moments like this. I would talk about school. She would refer to me as 19 on Discord, despite knowing my age from Twitter. So this is DMs with Foodshops, where Aiko says, that's why I want to get a referral and get into an intake and get help soon. I'm sorry. Please don't be upset. I'm sorry. I'm tearing up again. I'm sorry for not feeling okay. Okay, it's whatever. It's like suicidal shit. Or like dysfunctional BPD people. I used to talk to Destiny when I was like 16. I wasn't in his server because age requirements, but yeah, I'm not a DGGer, not in a weird way. So similar to Mo in that it's cutesy. I'm guessing that's like an anime game or some shit. And the mention of school is down at the bottom. Like, because of the mute thing, I would constantly get recommended by schools for autism tests, and my parents would respond by going, "Well, let's move to a new district." So, to be fair, this seems like a bit of a dishonest framing. This is not you talking about actively being in school. This is you talking about in the past you would get recommended for autism tests in school. So, to be slightly fair, it doesn't really, the framing here is a bit more extreme than what's showcased, okay? But regardless, let's keep going. I talked about not being in servers because I was too young, like DGG. I talked about relationships when I was 15, and any evidence I would have would be from 22 or 23. So this is this I want to see, right? This I want to see. Because again, if we look...
there's probably some Czechoslovakian doing that same content, and we'll never know about it.
The other was a brief moment outside of me in a video call, but I'm guessing she did not save that. Part of why I do not post Discord logs that these messages, she said she'd goon to in VC. Wow, genius. It was an odd thing for her to say to me, but we were both odd. She would age play with me, pretending I was her baby, and she would that she would keep in her home. And she would often refer to me as her little lolly. Okay, is this the first one? Yes. So let's read some of these. It would, because we would take our sweetie ass time and spend all day in bed, and the entire bed would smell like fluid as we are splayed out in a mess.
This is 2024, guys. This message being sent. 2024.
And I'll continue to whisper in your ear in my mommy voice. Wow. Awesome stuff. I would wrap my arms around you when you eepy sleepy little girl and pat your hair.
Now, where have we heard that phrasing before?
Let me ask you something. So you like masculinity more than femininity in like a partner?
I like femininity.
But do you like it more or less than like masculinity?
I want a cute little girl that I can wrap my arms around.
Oh?
So you like being like in the dominant role?
Yes.
Now, Foodshop says this was just an edgy joke, guys.
Cute little girl that I can wrap my arms around.
So you like being like in the dominant role?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, why?
I was just wondering.
What?
I was just wondering if you fit into.
Wait. Did you think that I was the more dominant one or the more submissive one? Just curious on a more personal preference.
Well, you said you like masculinity, so that confused me. But now you're saying you prefer feminine.
What about before that?
Well, yeah, no. Well, before just now, when you.
Dude, this is like legit the tell that you have legit never left your childhood bedroom. This is the tell. The Skyrim map poster that came with the game in the box in 2011, 2012, and you still got that shit on your wall. You never left that room.
You said you like masculinity. That's why I was genuinely curious, because I thought, because you said you like masculinity, I thought you liked taking on the feminine submissive.
We all had the Skyrim map. Everyone had the Skyrim map. We're just not. Most people don't still have the Skyrim map.
Role?
How did you recognize it? How could you not? That's like a classic. That is like literally everyone has that on their childhood bedroom wall.
Spicy.
Okay.
So here are some logs from Spicy.
Some familiar names in here. Some familiar names.
Okay. So Foodshop says September 3rd of 2024. Chud said he vaguely remembers you. He said you were a little nutty and that, yeah, he will take a look. Right? So really quick, we go to these logs. Rude. 16 years old. The PFP isn't a lolly PFP. Whether they're a 16-year-old or a psyop, it's bad news all around. I just blocked them. Whatever. Okay? So I don't really understand what... This happened before, right? So Chud said he vaguely remembers you. So it seemed like Chud had some sort of DMs with this person as well, but Chud didn't know they were a minor. And now, again, the DMs or the messages in Spicy Chat are like sort of vague. sort of vague. Because we can see it's like 16 years old. The lolly, the PFP isn't a lolly. What the fuck? Like maybe they're talking about a character or something. It's a little unclear, right? I'm not sure if this is saying I'm 16 in Spicy Chat, which wouldn't make sense, right? Wouldn't make sense because at this point they would have been 17, right? We can obviously determine that even in the Destiny DMs saying that they were 17. So maybe this was like an attempt at trolling, possibly. It's unclear. It's unclear. I'm not sure. But again, this is just like at the bare minimum, right? Even if we're framing this,
I'm like totally open to the idea this is like an Indian man pretending to be a Japanese girl. The issue is I just don't think it makes much of a difference. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the age is inconsistent, and this is a 35-year-old Indian man. I wouldn't be totally shocked. However, it seems like it was presented to Foodshops pretty clearly based on some of the messages I've seen. But we'll see. We'll see. Dude, Foodshops is actually literally thinks there's a golden ticket in front of her. There's an Asian child interested in me. There is an Asian child interested in me. This must be set up by Kuihman. Kuihman sending underage Japanese girls to try and bait me into being a pedophile.
That Foodshops on multiple occasions
Oh my
would say
God.
that this person is a catfish, that there's no proof of this person's existence, that this person is a troll, that this person, you know, whatever, whatever. If Foodshops actually had POCD, if Foodshops actually had compulsions about making sure that they weren't a pedophile or whatever, they would not let this slide. On the third month, okay, March, nice lol, wait, are you 17 or have you turned 18? I'm still not comfortable receiving safer work, even from 17. Until you reach 18, you can also not do sexual stuff in chat either, if that's okay with you. So until you reach 18.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
So this is acknowledging being underage, saying until you reach 18. When's this from? This is from 17th of March. This is from how many months earlier? What would that be? 6 months earlier. From 6 months earlier. So 6 months after the messages where she's like, we'd stay in bed all day and there'd be fluid everywhere. I wrap my arms around you. 6 months after that, she's like, oh, you're turning 18 soon, right? This is like this is all a problem. This is like Foodshops, whether Foodshops is grooming or not, Foodshops engagement with children online is a problem. If there's a 17-year-old saying sexual shit in your community, just ban them. Don't go and try and coach them into not saying sexual shit. You're a pedophile. Like a pedophile content creator, like that's your thing, is that you're like a pedophile who talks about being a pedophile. Your interest is a pedophile. Other pedophiles and what they go through. And yeah, that's like your thing. That's like been your thing for a lot of your career. Probably, I'm going to be real, there should probably be like a blanket 0 minors policy in your community, just based on that alone. I'm gonna be keeping it 100. Now, if that minor is saying sexual shit, that's like, you know, way beyond anything acceptable. Yeah, that's like way beyond anything acceptable.
Skill-based, okay, whatever. They go into, you know, talk about video games, whatever. But at the end, she says, also, FYI, is it all right if we don't talk that much until 18? I'm just not comfortable chatting with minors on a regular basis. So look, I'm willing to look past our past because you're positive in chat, but that's about it. So again, things like this are just incredibly...
I'm just not comfortable chatting with minors on a regular basis, lol. I'm willing to look past our past because you're positive in chat, but yeah, that's about it, lol. This is trying to get her to not leak the messages. I'm saying her, I don't know if this person's even well, no one in this is female, but a woman. But there's so many problems here. So you're not comfortable chatting with minors on a regular basis. And this is about getting her to shut up, basically, isn't it? This is like, I don't want to just ban you, because then you've got no buy-in, right? Inside the tent pissing out, rather than outside the tent pissing in. So, you know, I'm not going to ban you, and I can overlook what you've done to me, talking to me sexually when you're 17. I can overlook what you've done to me, because you're positive. But let's keep it that way. You know, that's like what's going on here.
Bizarre, right?
Foodshops is like worried about cutting off for this person completely because there's all these messages in the past. Don't play Roblox, dummy. Minecraft one-time purchase. Bell, but not from ZZZ. You're a 17-year-old who almost pedo-baited me. I managed to put aside because I don't care so much anymore. I'm both being a PDF. Yeah, so again, it's framing what this other person did as the wrongdoing, isn't it? It's like, you've done this wrong thing to me. There's this in our past, what you've done to me. No, Foodshops, no.
Yeah, you almost got me. Almost got me there. Had me by the hair of my neck, or whatever the saying is. And I managed to put it aside because I don't care that much anymore, and I'm known for being a pedophile with a lowercase p. Let me know that when you hit 18. Like, again, I know Foodshops is a retard, okay? I don't want to paint them as someone who is like of high level intelligence. Foodshops is a fucking idiot, okay? Their brain is probably fried from several substances. They are a moron, all right? However, how can you be this fucking stupid to just not see the clear implication here, the optics of this, whatever. This just looks like fucking grooming. This just looks like grooming. What are the optics here? Why? Why continue a relationship with this person after it is found out?
Yeah, the thing is, okay, let's give Foodshops grace against my better judgment. Let's give Foodshops a bit of grace. Let's say Foodshops didn't know, had no indication, not just didn't know, but had no indication this person was a minor before sexting them. And just didn't check, was like a shitter, didn't think it was that important, didn't think any minors would reach out and sext, made stupid decisions, and fell into that situation. It's no contact after that. The moment you know, it's like no context. Sorry, I'm just reading something. Yeah, you go no contact right once this happens. After that, this does kind of just seem like grooming. You now know it's a minor. You know you've breached that sexual boundary with this minor. You've had sexual interactions with them while they've been underage. And as much as you pulled back a bit from that sexual interaction, you want to sort of maintain that. You want to maintain that thread to the relationship a bit. And you're saying, like, let me know when you hit 18. Talk to me about that when you hit 18.
That they're a minor, even if it's platonic or non-sexual or whatever. What do you gain from that? Why not just block them?
Oh, yeah. Also, didn't Foodshops have that avatar drawn by a 15-year-old at one point? Wasn't Foodshops' old avatar drawn by a 15-year-old that was in their community?
Here is Doomer Media back then on this old Discord account, so he couldn't delete it, but it's either hacked or banned, admitting that the lying 17-year-old back then was just lying, and he states that I am vindicated. Then, less than a year later, he would flip on this opinion 180 degrees because I'm no longer friendly with him. Will he answer?
Pretty sure Mrow can delete stuff on that account. I think Mrow's still got access to that account. I messaged Mrow on that account.
For snakiness. I've changed my mind. That is the simple truth. You can watch my coverage from this time. Obviously, the data's on screen. I think the VOD might be privated, actually, so I might have to go unlist that so you guys can view it. However, my coverage from at the time was that, yeah, it seems like this person was just lying about their age, right?
So what's Foodshops saying? So Mrow says, did you call her IRL lolly? Foodshops says, I was being stupid. Yeah, and she said she liked it. Lamau, reciprocated behavior. Yeah, Foodshops, the reciprocated behavior doesn't save you when it's a kid. That actually doesn't really do anything for you. I'm going to be real.
From all the evidence that I was receiving, it seemed like this person was kind of like a weird catfisher type person. And they still could be like a weird catfisher type person. However, I don't think that changes much, right? The fact that they have DMs with Destiny, where they say that they're a minor. The fact that they have DMs with Zonia, where they say that they're a minor. The fact that they have DMs with politics moderators and in the politics server had the minor role. The fact that they had DMs with Bunk, where they say that they're a minor. It leads me to the only possible conclusion, which is that at the very best, being hyper charitable to Foodshops, they acted, again, at the very best, incredibly recklessly. There is no world in which you could not come to the natural conclusion here that this person might have been underage, and it is on you at that point to check that. The fact that you say that this could be a catfish, right? Or this could be a troll from Chud's or Kuihman's community, and you did not go the extra mile.
I would want to see more of these I would want to see more of these messages. I'm not muted. I was just reading. I would want to see more of these messages because what's going on here? Why is Foodshops thinking this person's a troll? What has happened in the conversation already? Because the freaking out over thinking this person's a troll does kind of make me feel like that she had some indications was minor. So what's going on at the very start of these DMs? 30th of August. Foodshops says, WTF, I blocked you. Why? Say, WTF, I'm confused too. Now that indicates to me Foodshops may have blocked this person because they had some indication they were behaving weird beforehand. Dude, yuck. Apparently some underage victim at the time of a large YouTuber posted a video exposing the YouTuber, which put actual videos and pics of herself getting sexed by him but poorly censored. I think she may have posted CP of herself. When I heard about it, I was so morbidly curious though, I looked up the video myself and now I feel guilty. That's what Foodshops said. That's what Foodshops says in these DMs, guys. Foodshops says that she heard, I assume this about Mr. T Lexify, that Mr. T Lexify's ex-girlfriend posted CP of herself as part of the allegations. And Foodshops was so morbidly curious, she had to go and look it up. So wait, there's a huge gap here, right? Yeah, okay. I think I've got the take. After 15, 20 minutes of intense investigation, I think I figured it out, guys. Foodshops does seem to believe at the start of the conversations that this person is of age. Foodshops, at some point, after engaging in quite heavy sexual conversation with this person, seems to learn of their age. Now, could Foodshops have been playing a plausible deniability game? Because allegedly Foodshops had received pictures of this person that time and comments on how good their skin is, which is a little bit, yeah, we're getting close to the line there. And he's referring to him as an IRL lolly. Foodshops could be playing the plausible deniability game at that point, but we can forget about that for a moment because you don't need that for the criticism here. Because Foodshops, after engaging in heavy sexual conversations with someone that she later found out was a minor, she then kept reaffirming, oh, we can't have any more sexual conversations until you turn 18. I believe there are more instances than what are shown in this Mrow VOD of that being said, basically. Talking about no NSFW till you turn 18, all this sort of stuff. That's it. That seems to be the case. And maintained the relationship with them. Maintained the relationship, kept it going, said we can resume the sexual conversations when you're 18. So, at Grok, is this grooming? At Grok, does this count as grooming, Grok? Someone saying yes in chat? Definition of grooming. Brackets, sexual allegations surrounding minors. Grooming is when someone builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with a child or young person so they can make them do what they want and abuse them. It can lead to sexual abuse, exploitation, and trafficking. Child grooming can happen online or in person. It can be a stranger or someone the child knows. A groom may build a romantic relationship, become a mentor or authority figure. May also build a relationship with family and friends over time so people can trust them. That doesn't really answer my question. Too broke to afford a Claude Pro sub. We're asking AI. I only Googled it the last time. I'm gonna ask AI. Okay, guys, so let's go over the AI summary of what grooming is. Arguments for it being grooming. Behavioral and psychological perspective. From a psychological and child protection standpoint, this scenario strongly aligns with the behavioral patterns of grooming. The waiting game. Pausing explicit conversations while promising to resume them at 18 is a recognized manipulation tactic. The adult maintains an emotional hold and keeps the minor on the hook, ensuring the minor remains attached and compliant until they cross the arbitrary legal threshold. True. Pre-established sexual dynamic. Because extensive sexual conversations already took place, the relationship has been fundamentally sexualized. Even if the overt sexual talk stops, the subtext of the relationship remains sexual. The adult using the non-sexual period to nurture an emotional dependency that serves as a future sexual goal. Inherent power imbalance. An adult maintaining a relationship with a minor with the explicit intent of future sexual access leverages their age, experience, and emotional control. The minor is being primed and conditioned for a future event, which is the core definition of psychological grooming. Intent to exploit. Grooming is defined by the intent to build trust for the purpose of sexual access. By stating the relationship will become sexual again at 18, the adult is explicitly confirming their underlying motive for maintaining the current relationship. Arguments against it being grooming. Strict legal and defensive perspective. From a legal basis or standpoint, or under a very narrow definition of the term, one could argue against this being classified as criminal grooming based on intent and jurisdiction. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Lack of initial intent. A core legal component of grooming is the deliberate targeting and manipulation of a minor. The adult genuinely believed the individual was 19. The initial sexual conversations lacked the mens rea to exploit a child. I think that kind of falls apart once you know the age, though. And then the other things come into play. Cessation of illegal acts. A defense attorney would argue that by stopping the sexual conversations upon learning of the true age, the adult demonstrated a willingness to comply with the law. Waiting until the individual is a legal adult is, strictly speaking, waiting until the behavior is legally permissible. Jurisdictional age of consent. In many regions, including the UK, where the general age of consent is 16, a 17-year-old is already legally capable of consenting to sexual activity. In such jurisdictions, the adult might not be committing a crime at all, rendering the legal charge of grooming inapplicable, regardless of ethical implications. Absence of coercion or secrecy. If the adult is not actively trying to isolate a 17-year-old from the family, encouraging them to keep secrets or coercing them into immediate sexual acts, a defense attorney could argue that the current relationship lacks the active predatory behaviors required to meet a legal threshold for grooming. So it's technical arguments. Technical arguments that, yeah, some of it's not true because there's a transmission of images and sexual conversations online. There are technical arguments that this might not be grooming legally. Yeah. So that's what Gemini says. Grok keeping notes about Kuihman asking for arguments about how someone else, quote unquote, might not be a groomer. Did any sexual conversations happen after they turned 18? Dude, wait, what's this? I search 18 in the chat logs. So, Alleged minor's side is deleted. Foodshop says, sure, lol. Why aren't you sharing all this with Spinal? He's your BFF. Huh? Dude, you're 17. Please stop. I told you, please keep your Oh, yeah, this is the fucking... Dude, this is who Spinal was saying that mommy shit about. This is the same user, isn't it? They've changed their fucking name a bunch of times. From my POV, ever since that whole 17 fiasco thing, the fact you have a bunch of accounts and you go wild and sometimes gave me a negative impression, TBQH. But I'm just being honest here, you know what I mean? I'd be like, damn, Schizo. Yeah, look, glad you recognize that. I don't trust you at all. And if you want to gain that trust back, it's going to take a long-ass time. This is to a 17-year-old. You're going to have to earn my trust back. You've betrayed me by having sexual interactions with me and not telling me that you were 17. So now you're going to have to earn my trust back while I still talk to you as a 17-year-old and will resume sexual interactions when you turn 18. That's what's being said there. So yeah, keep going. Dude, you're 17. Please stop. Crying face, crying face. I told you, please keep your distance till 18. I have nothing against you, but I feel as though I have to block you until a month passes. I promise I have nothing against you. Just tell me in chat once you've hit 18, lol. But you're too much of a liability again. Take care. It is just, you know, I can only assume it's just like a timing thing. But it is bizarre how much colder these messages get once this person's 18. Even though I don't think Foodshops knew, I don't think... It is bizarre how the tone of these messages changes once this person's 18. It's like instantly colder. Like Foodshops is just like not interested anymore, basically. I can maybe give some grace, assume that's because this person's like lied to them and shit. But like Foodshops is like legit, the first half of these DMs is like head over heels, like, oh my god, you're like the best, you're so cute, oh my god. And it's like, I just turned 18. And then Foodshop's like, you know, I can't even think of the face I'm thinking of, but there's some stupid meme template face that I'm thinking of. Yeah. So yeah, at the end, Foodshops says, I literally didn't even let you into the server or the chat at times because you weren't 18. Yeah, we would just need to see when this person's bans were, but I don't even know if... I just checked my audit logs. My audit logs barely go back at all, so I don't know how far back they go.
I think there is substantial evidence to prove that this person was a public minor, that Foodshops, you know, should have had reasonable suspicion based on the places this minor was hanging around, the people she was talking to, and everything, that they could have been a minor. So even if it is the case that this person lied to Foodshops, Foodshops did not do the bare minimum here, okay? That is the point. Foodshops did not do the bare minimum here in trying to verify this person was who they were saying they were.
It's just very desperate as well. It's all very desperate. But I think that's about it, guys. I think that's about it for this. So what's the take here? It's inconclusive whether Foodshops knew at first and at the time of the significant sexual interactions. Inconclusive there. However, Foodshops absolutely does find out at some point, maintains emotional tether in the relationship with the promise or stated intent of more sexual interactions once this person turns 18. So that does come off like grooming. That's hitting several key criteria of grooming.